diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo.
You saying I did?
Middle of the field will be returned by Pierce from the 15-yard line right up the middle of the 30. Pierce to the 40, 50-yard line. Pierce cuts to the outside, and now he's brought down at the 40-yard line. From Menlo Field, it's week 6 of the high school football season as the Memorial Tigers play host to the Bosse Bulldogs. Tigers football is brought to you by Memorial High School, Melk Mechanical, Heating, Electrical, The Book Broker, Escape Your Reality, Memorial Booster Club. Tigers football is also brought to you by Oakland City University, Pet Food Center, Royal Express Car Wash, Stone & Stratman Attorneys at Law, and Rockabar Pizza. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. It is week 6 of the high school football season, and the Tigers have won now three straight games. Last week winning at Harrison 41-14 to improve to 3-2 on the season. The Bosse Bulldogs have dropped 3 in a row as they are now 1-4 heading into play tonight. Well, Mike, last week another convincing win for the Tigers, and they've gotten some of their pieces back with guys like Portero, Leo Collins. They made the switch at quarterback in the last few weeks. They've been rolling.
They found offense, and by finding offense, Coach Hurley made some changes in different positions, and it certainly has provided dividends.
What has stood out most to you about the offense? As last week there were quite a few guys that got involved.
We have, throughout the whole season, 11 different guys have carried the ball, 11 different guys have caught the ball defensively. Over 30 guys have actually come up with defensive stats. So it's a work in progress for Coach Hurley. I don't think we've seen all of the finished product quite yet.
I think, too, with the Tigers team, we talk a lot about the offense as our viewers will get a look at some of the offensive highlights from last week. But Memorial's defense, ever since that opening loss at Jasper, they gave up 34 points. They allowed 14 points in the first half, week 2 against North. But really, ever since then, they have been a dominant part of this team. Yeah,
they had, 8 straight quarters while not giving up a point. You talked about the 34 points in Jasper. Well, the last 4 games, Jevin, they've only given up 34 points.
Let's talk about the Bosse Bulldogs. Mentioned they have lost 3 straight games. They are 1-4 on the season. Their head coach is Stephen Mull, and he is in his second year here at Bosse, and they are coming off a 48-12 loss last week against North. You've watched some of the Bosse games. What has stood out about the Bulldogs this year?
Offensively, they came away with a comeback win against Central in week 2, their only victory. The biggest problem they've had is stopping people. They've given up 40 or more points in their 4 losses, and they're still searching to get some consistency on offense. But rather like Harrison last week, they have some gifted athletes.
Offensively, their quarterback is Elijah Wagner. He's a 5'7" junior. Hasn't really shown the ability to throw the ball extremely deep down the field. They like to run the ball quite a bit. What are some keys tonight for Bosse offensively under Wagner?
Well, Wagner's got to be able to throw the ball deep. He's got good on the short passing, but they've got to be able to spread it around to some of their fine receivers. And also on the other side, as far as the offense, they've got a real good runner in senior J.D. Thomas. He was over 1,100 yards last year as a junior and 9 touchdowns. So for his career, he's done good. He's going to have to really step up, and the offensive line is going to have to block for him in order for them to be effective offensively.
Let's hit on a couple of Tigers' important players for tonight. Of course, the quarterback, 6'3" sophomore Matthew Fisher. Ever since he got his first start, week 4 at Mater Dei, he's really settled in.
Yeah, he is 31 of 40 for 76% completions, and has come up with over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Fisher in his first 2 games really was able to compete offensively.
And Caleb Elshman, who was the starting quarterback the first couple of weeks, they moved him to the wide receiver spot. He's still been a very impactful player for the offense.
All he's done is have 11 catches, 204 yards, and a touchdown. And Caleb not only has done the job on the reception part, he's returned a kickoff for 42 yards, and he rushed for a touchdown. So Caleb Elshman is that Swiss Army knife. He can play different positions, receiver, special teams, and running the football.
It's a beautiful night for football. It finally feels like fall temperature-wise. Hopefully the rain stays away this evening. It is week 6, 3-2 Memorial Tigers taking on the 1-4 Bosse Bulldogs. We'll come back with the keys to the game next. You're watching Tigers football on IndianaSRN.
Okay, thank you.
Tigers football is brought to you by Wrights Memorial High School, providing an environment where God inspires, we educate, and students thrive since 1925. Check out our website at wrightsmemorial.org for more information. Alongside Mike Scavara, I'm Jevin Redmond. Glad you could join us here on IndianaSRN for week 6 of the high school football season. Already the second half of the regular season, Mike, and it's hard to believe how quick the football season always goes, and the Tigers starting to get back on track after a slow start the first 2 weeks.
October 9th is a draw for the state tournament, and it'll be here before you know it.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last week's win for the Tigers. We touched on it in the first segment, how a lot of different guys got involved in Memorial's 41-14 win over the Warriors to improve to 3-2, and they used a little bit of everything, especially Matthew Fisher here. What I've been impressed most about the sophomores is his ability to extend plays. He really never seems like he's in a rush, but again, able to extend plays and use his wheels some too.
And he can come up with the long ball. He's got passes of 42, 48, and 36, and a couple of those more in the 20s. So he's not afraid to throw the ball long, but he also is accurate on the short passes and can run with the football, as we can see here.
Yeah, and here's one of his runs from last Friday. This touchdown run took a hard collision in the end zone. I know there was some nervous moments on the Tigers side as he was slow to get up, but good to see Matthew Fisher okay as he'll make his third start of the season tonight. And Mike, let's go ahead and talk about tonight's matchup. Some keys to the game. Go ahead and touch on one or two on each side for the Tigers and the Bulldogs.
Well, you're looking at Memorial. Their offense has been in high gear especially if you look at the first 2 weeks where they didn't even score a touchdown from the offense. So they need to continue to work on that, and I'm sure Coach Hurley is going to be continuing to try to improve on that. Defensively, Bosse is going to have to slow down the passing game and certainly try to come up with a pass rush.
All right, Bulldogs take the field. Kickoff is coming up next. Memorial and Bosse on IndianaSRN.
The local economy and save more when you shop at the Pet Food Center. We have over 6,000 pet-related items for dogs, cats, birds, fish, reptiles, turtles, rabbits, hamsters, gerbils, and more. Anything you want for your pet, we've got it. Includes full lines of the best pet food, bird seeds, a full line of heated pet products, pet clothing, toys, and more. Walk in, curbside pickup, shop online, and free local delivery.
Anything you want for your pet, we've got it. The Pet Food Center.
Just about set for football. It's Memorial and Bosse, Week 6, alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond, and before we do our coin flip here this evening, as we get later into the season, that means it's time to take a look at some of the standings and other matchups elsewhere tonight. Wright still the only team undefeated in the SIAC. They are 5-0, and Memorial will see the Wrights Panthers next week here for their Week 7 matchup. But a big game on the west side at the Bull. It's 5-0 Wrights against 4-1 Castle.
Wright's very athletic. Castle good defensively. Going to try to negate that advantage they've got athletically. They can throw the ball. They've got three of the top receivers in the conference over on the west side.
Other games tonight to pay attention to. Harrison is at Vincennes. You have Mater Dei at North. That's an intriguing matchup. It's a pair of 3-2 teams. And then Jasper is at Central. That game is underway. I know Jasper has jumped out to an early 6-0 lead. Right now, the Tigers, they're 3-2 along with a few other teams. Mater Dei, North, and Vincennes. Mentioned Castle in second at 4-1. And Wrights is in first with their 5-0 record. So coin flip at the midfield stripe, and it looks like Bosse will receive the opening kickoff this evening. And our referees tonight, Mike Beasy is our white hat. Other officials, Jason Plynn, John Kicksmiller, Justin Cutter, and Jason Tatt.
Out on the middle of the field, captains for both teams, Amari Hope, along with Elijah Wagner. Also out there for Bosse was J.D. Thomas. As coming up for the Tigers, you had Leo Collins and Caleb Elsperman, Drew Winesapple, and Carrick Johnson.
Thought it was interesting last week early in the game at Harrison. The Warriors, they almost played stall ball a little bit where they would milk out the game clock, the play clock run down. Could you see Bosse using a similar strategy tonight, try to keep the Memorial offense off the field?
I think that's a good strategy. You might see that for the rest of the year. Corian Allen also was the other captain. As we'll have football here at Enloe Field, Archie Owen Field, as week number 6 coming into play here, and ought to be an interesting matchup. Let's see if the Bosse defense can slow down the Memorial offense, and the Memorial defense contains some of the athleticism that Bosse brings.
Tigers will kick off right to left on your video screen. Memorial looking for a 4th straight win. Bosse trying to snap a 3-game skid. Kickoff goes into the middle of the field. This will be David Hildreth on the return, and he is brought down quickly. Forward progress shut off around the 20-yard line, and we'll see this Bosse offense first under junior quarterback Elijah Wagner, a 5'7 junior, 155 pounds. And this Bulldogs offense, they average just over 10 points per game. They've been shut out twice this year.
Joey Baronis on the special teams tackle, as the Tigers will start 4 down linemen. As you can see Bosse there, the running back, J.D. Thomas, the focal point offensively here, as they'll head the split end one way, slot backs the other side, and actually they empty out the backfield.
On the first play of the game, Bosse goes to the air. To the far side, it is caught. On the reception, it is Tomlinson, a 6'2 junior, and that goes for a gain of 4 or 5. So expecting the Bulldogs to run the ball quite a bit. They throw it on the first play.
And now that they're not going to take time off the clock. They're going to go hurry up huddle offense. As that time we've got a referee blowing the whistle. As that's the quick pass. That's where Wagner does its job. The short pass defensively. The secondary is going to be tested for the Tigers. A lot of young guys there. Of course, the front 4, some of the top players and top tacklers, along with Carrick Johnson.
Starting defense for the Tigers, brought to you by Rockabar Pizza. Pass comes near side and too tall for Amari Hope, the junior wide receiver. And the Tigers defensively this year are allowing 13.5 points per game. And they really stacked up their tackles for losses the last couple of weeks against Mater Dei and Harrison. Again, Rockabar Pizza, the official sponsor of our starting lineups this evening. It is 3rd down for Bosse. First drive of the game, right around their own 25-yard line. Wagner to throw, far side, caught for the first down, and strolling up the far sideline. That goes for a healthy gain as they hook up with J.D. Thomas, the senior.
Thomas did a nice job avoiding one tackle and getting yaks. That's yards after the catch, and they move it out to the Bosse 40-yard line. Just underway, first down of the game, first possession of the game.
Mentioned this Bulldogs offense has been shut out twice this year, averaging just 10 points per game. Their win came week 2 against Central, 26-13. They give it to Thomas. He slithers to the outside into Tigers territory, galloping far sideline. And that's a gain of 10 plus. That'll move the chains for J.D. Thomas.
Nice job bouncing out there. Jeremiah McGuire making the stop, but another first down as they'll get it to midfield.
They spot it right at the 50-yard line. It's about 60 seconds gone here in the opening quarter. Empty backfield again for Wagner to throw. He flings it near side, and it's almost picked off through the hands of Hope, the wide receiver. And then for the Tigers defensively, Sam Nichols almost had his second interception of the season, but it's an incomplete pass.
When he clicks on the replay of IndianaSRN.org and he looks at that, he's not going to be very happy, as we've got 2nd down and 10.
From the 50-yard line. Mentioned earlier, the Bulldogs head coach is Stephen Mullen. He's in his 2nd year. Won 3 games last year, went 3-8.
They've gone empty backfield a lot, trying to get those quick hitters out to in the flat.
2nd and 10. Tigers bring some pressure. The quarterback Wagner takes off running. He gets just past the 45-yard line to the 44. It's a 6-yard scramble for Elijah Wagner. Will bring up 3rd and short.
Desmond Johnson up for the secondary, showing good speed. We talked about in the open that they've got some athleticism, and they've certainly shown that here in the first minute and a half. Seems like we've had a lot of action for just a minute and a half into the game. That's what that no huddle, hurry up offense will give you.
This will already be the 7th play of this drive. And they give it to the running back Thomas, and he is swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a half a yard. Host of Tigers got in there for the tackle.
Led by Joey Collins and a host of blue shirts. That'll bring up a 4th down.
As a team like that is their 31st tackle for loss this year, and it seems like the majority of those have come the last really 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, their defense has definitely stepped up as they're going for it on 4th down here. Trying to maybe get a long count, get the Tigers off sides.
4th and 5, empty backfield, looking to throw. Pass comes near side, and it's almost picked off. Jumping the route was Alex Broshears, the linebacker. Had he hauled that in, he was going to race to the other end for 6, but instead it's a turnover on downs, and the Tigers get a stop.
Well, even dropping the ball, actually, because if he might have got tackled, it might not have gained too much, but the only advantage would if he would have gone all the way. As we see the replay, he had it in his hands, and when you're a defender, you want to go after that ball. So the Tigers defense gives up 3 first downs, but as they defense have done in the past, they force a kick, and this time they get a force on downs. So Memorial in great field position from their own 45.
Bosse took just 2 minutes off the clock in the opening drive, so here is Matthew Fisher as they motion Collins from left to right, and Caleb Elsterman took off running on that far sideline. It'll be a false start against the Tigers, so back him up.
Yeah, Leo Collins normally lines up as a wideout, but innovation again by Coach Hurley and the offensive staff, trying to get the ball into Collins' hands. He's only played 2 games. He was injured the first 3 games of the year, and they're just trying to get more ways to get Leo the ball more.
3 wide receivers set. They've got Elsterman and Road in the backfield. Fisher to throw, moving to his left, has good protection up front, and now he is wrestled to the ground for a loss of 4 or 5 yards.
Good secondary coverage. Fisher could not find a receiver. Did not see who made the tackle for loss, but it's a loss nonetheless, a big one of 5 yards. So Memorial offense, a 5-yard penalty and a 5-yard loss.
Now staring at a 2nd and 20 as this Tigers offense averaging almost 19 points per game. That has been improving the last few weeks. Trips to the far side. Fisher with a quick pass caught by Elsterman. Looking to make a man miss. He does to the 40. Far sideline 45 and carrying a tackler out of bounds past the midfield stripe. That is Fisher, the sophomore, to Caleb Elsterman, the senior. 2 guys we highlighted in the pregame show.
Nice job out there. Nice catch and nice run after the catch. They get it out to midfield. No, actually in the Bosse territory at the 48. He picked up about, 10 yards more after the catch.
That was going to be a very short gain had he been brought down right away. Late sub in for the Tigers. Jack Brackett comes on. Out is Luke Elsterman on this 3rd and 3 from the Bosse 48-yard line.
3 receivers left.
And we have a timeout called by the Tigers. Early first quarter, no score. Tigers on the move.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to join us next weekend. The alumni and friends.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Tigers had to burn an early timeout as they are moving right to left in their opening drive, staring at a 3rd and 3 from the Bosse 48-yard line. 2 wide receivers here to the near side. Fisher awaits a snap. They give it to Rode, and Rode is brought down for a yard loss. First man in there was J.D. Thomas to grab him around the waist. Got some help as well on the tackle, and it's 4th and 4.
That's another tackle for loss. He lost a yard, so give credit to that Bosse defense. They came up big. Rode had nowhere to go, so Rode will now go back and have to punt it away. So 3 and out, or no, actually, no, they did get a first down, so just a few yards. They started on their own 45. They get into the Bosse 49 to punt it away.
So Rode to punt it for the Tigers. 4 punts this year, averaging about 37 yards per kick, and this one is a dandy. Inside the 5, it is downed at the 2-yard line. So a great punt for Porter Rode.
Good job out there on special teams. Ben Zemer let it bounce, and it's at the 1. So 48-yard punt inside the 20.
Tigers football is brought to you by the Wrights Memorial Athletic Booster Club. Join the tradition of supporting Memorial Athletics with the revamped and revitalized Booster Club. Like us on Facebook for more information. So Bosse with their backs against the wall now, 1st and 10 from their own 2. They threw the ball quite a bit their opening drive, even went no huddle. They fake it to Thomas. Quarterback keeps it. That is Wagner. He gets to the outside, past the 10. He shows blazing speed, and he strides out of bounds short of the 15-yard line, but enough for the first down, and that gives this Bosse offense some breathing room.
4 first downs already, and again, we haven't played 4 minutes. With that ability to get outside, running between the tackles might be a minimal effort throughout the night. They try to get the quick pass out into the flat to the receivers, and then between Wagner and Thomas, they've been beating the containment for the Tigers.
Another first down for Bosse. Pass comes near side. It's deflected and picked off. Nope. I'm sorry, the quarterback kept it himself. Now throws. It's Wagner. I thought the ball was thrown. It was deflected.
Jack Brackett was the man that deflects it, and then Wagner gets it back and throws it. And that's a penalty because that's 2 forward passes.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't seeing things. I thought the ball was tipped, and all of a sudden the quarterback had it and threw it again. So,
well, I hope you see things because we've got a whole long ball game to do yet.
We'll see if Jerry Collins can just erase that
Here
play.
we go. Here we go. Watch 21 up in the air, hits with his right hand. Wagner gets it back again. Now he throws it forward the second time. He can't do that. That's a no-no. And then almost coming up was Jackson Draper on the interception.
I'm not sure I've seen that, where it was deflected, caught by the quarterback, and he threw it again.
It does happen, but
it just did.
A lot less times than I get A's on my tests. All that activity, and it's an incomplete pass.
So it'll be second down now for Bosse.
And it's a penalty of 15 yards, or maybe it was half the distance.
So illegal forward pass. Bulldogs line up with an empty backfield, 4 wide receivers set, and we had some movement on both sides to see who it goes against.
That was a half the distance, 7-yard penalty.
So the referees get together again, led by White Hat, which is Mike Beasy. And it is against Bosse.
Yeah, and at half the distance, so he picked up the ball, took 1 step. Not quite sure. Was that a procedure penalty? So we've had a 7-yard penalty and a 1-yard penalty. And the Tigers' defense looking maybe for a safety because it's inside the 1.
What did you say about a lot of action early on?
I know.
We've only played 4 minutes. We've got to pace ourselves a little bit.
This game might go till 10:30.
Second
linebacker blitz.
Second and long. Wagner receives the snap, just heaves it far sideline, and nobody in the vicinity as it goes to the Bosse sideline.
That was in the 5th lane of the track. Third down and long. And you come back with the same play because if it gets intercepted, it's like a punt. I know I say that every week, but that's true.
It's kind of the equivalent of basketball where you just chuck it and pray it goes in. That was just a chuck and pray someone catches it.
That's right. Well, do you bring pressure or do you lay back? That's what Ben Johnson, defensive coordinator, is going to have to do with the Tigers.
Well, here, even if Bosse only gets a few yards and has to punt, their punting game's not real strong, and they're backed up. So,
timeout.
Yeah, Coach Mullen's going to think about it. Timeout, Bosse. No score, about 4 minutes gone. Here from Inlow.
Timeout, Bosse.
Melk, located in Evansville, Indiana, provides mechanical, electrical, and plumbing solutions nationwide. We deliver quality service to the industrial, commercial, and healthcare industries. If you have a big project, we bring big solutions. That includes designing and installing green energy systems that benefit your business. Our in-depth knowledge and commitment to safety make us the perfect partner in MEP contracting. Contact us for an estimate on your next project. Melk, big projects, big solutions.
A Wrights Memorial education is now more affordable than ever. If you fit within certain income guidelines, you could receive over $6,000 of tuition assistance. Find out if you qualify for an Indiana School Choice Scholarship or other tuition assistance opportunities. Your child, your money, your choice. Visit writesmemorial.org/tuition-assistance for more information.
Well, bit of an odd start here in the first quarter. A couple of goofy plays, but no score yet. Bosse in some trouble. 3rd and 22 from their own 1-yard line as Bosse just called a timeout. And they will line up with an empty backfield as Wagner goes out of the shotgun. He's thrown the ball a healthy amount here in the early going. Almost been picked off a couple times as well. And out of the timeout, we have a flag. And can't really back them up too much more. They're almost in the end zone.
Yeah, I think they pick up the ball and they put it back down. We're gonna have to. Well, I'm gonna give them no yards on a procedure, but give them a penalty.
And it wouldn't even be 6 inches, would it?
No.
All right, so we'll try it again coming out of the timeout. Man in motion left to right. I'm sorry, right to left. That is Antonio Floyd. Here comes the pressure moving away as Wagner. He takes off running. Able to get out of the end zone, but not much further than that as he is swarmed at the 5-yard line. And Bosse will have a 4th and long, and they'll have to punt.
Kelton Farmer, Jack Brackett. So they start this drive on the 2, and after some penalties and whatnot, they get it out to the 6. And Amari Hope, who's averaging 21.6, will go back to punt it away. As
looks like it is Pierce and Elsterman. Would say back deep to return, but they're at the 35-yard line of Bosse. And this kick is a short kick, middle of the field, bounce at the 25-yard line, and kind of dies right there. So the Tigers will get excellent field position here, looking for our first points of the evening. Just about 5 minutes gone. We'll take a look at the Tigers starting offense on the field for the second time here tonight. And as always, Tigers offense is brought to you by Rockabar Pizza.
And you got that offensive line of Mattingly, does a nice job there, as well as Vaughn and Hartigan, Cassidy and Wade. Has great field position. That ends up, they put it at the 25, so a 19-yard punt.
Tigers had to punt on their opening drive. And looks like Bosse jumps offside, so it'll make it 1st and 5. And the Bosse defense that is allowing almost 40 points per game, brought to you by Rockabar Pizza.
They're going to have that front three of Morris, Wilson, and Elliott really step up. Great linebackers, though, in Lloyd and Thomas.
Rode lines up in the backfield alongside Fisher here on 1st and 5 from the 20. They give his to Rode. Up the middle he goes, dragging a tackler, and on his backside was 50, Darian Fellows Jr. It's a gain of 4, 2nd and 1.
Good job there by Rode just to get anything, as the Fellows did a nice job. He met him right in the hole but fell forward for a good pickup.
Rode the junior, 45th carry of the season. He is averaging about 6.5 yards per carry, almost 100 yards per game. Of course, he didn't play the first 2 weeks of the regular season. And before the snap, we have some whistles.
Maybe some blood on Luke Elsterman. So they're going to bring in another receiver. Bosse has really jammed up defensively. Jevon out there, they've got 5 guys on the 5 offensive linemen. They're saying, we're not going to have you run up the middle. You're going to have to go around the end.
On 2nd and 1, they go with a Wildcat formation. This is Caleb Elsterman, tripped up at the 5, and he tumbles forward down to the 3-yard line. So that goes for 13 yards. They have used that quite a bit this year, that Wildcat, with Elsterman following his blockers in front. A lot of times it's Porter Road blocking. Works out well there. 1st and goal, Tigers inside the red zone, brought to you by Peace of Mind Counseling.
Yeah, they had to go outside the tackle, and Elsterman, who's already has 1 rushing first down, or 1 touchdown, or 2 rather.
First and
looking
goal
for 3.
from the 2. Out of the Wildcats, straight ahead. Walking in is Caleb Elsterman. Touchdown, Tigers. It is his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And the Tigers score first here in week 6. It is 6-0.
Field position, critical there. A great punt by the Memorial offense. Gets Bosse down deep, then a short punt, and then they just go straight down as Barrett out of the hold of Schultz on the snap of Brashears.
Barrett is 10 of 12 on the season now, 10 of 13 as he hooked it wide right, but Memorial in front 6-0 halfway through the first quarter.
Oakland City University is a private Christian college at a state school price. Check out the Good Neighbor Scholarship that allows for a major savings on tuition and is available to any first-time student living within 60 miles of campus with plans to commute. Oakland City University, an affordable college education right in your backyard. Call today or visit this link to learn more about the Good Neighbor Scholarship.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
$6-0 Memorial. Miss PAT from Barrett. That is why it is 6-0, middle of the first quarter. Tigers go 3 plays, 25 yards in 1 minute and 9 seconds. Scoring drive, as always, is brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. Kickoff return by Bosse at the 20-yard line to the 25. This is Amari Hope searching for room and not much running room as Hope is brought down at the 27-yard line as we get a look at the score from Caleb Elshman, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Nice kick out block out there by Rode on the defensive end, and Elsperman walks in. As you said, his 3rd touchdown rushing. Gets to play quarterback, but instead of throwing, he runs it in.
Again, scoring drives brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. They are located at 1309 North Greener Road in Evansville. Have fun shopping for furniture with the Kozlitz, Father Pat, and sons Chase and Kelsey. Pass goes to the far side. It is Amari Hope. He does most of his work after the catch, and he is shoved out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain.
Draper and Brashears. And that is one of their bread and butter plays. Even though it's a quick pass out there, we're going to see that all night by the Bulldogs.
Officially a gain of 4 there from the pass from Wagner. They've thrown the ball quite a bit here in the first quarter. They send Hope in motion, left to right. The give is up the middle to J.D. Thomas. Good cut back to his left before he's bottled up at the 35-yard line. Another gain of 4 sets up a 3rd and 2.
Brashears and Jack Brackett on the stop, but 3rd down and short. Keep this drive alive. Bosse's got to get a pair.
That'll bring up 3rd and 2.
This Bosse offense has scored more than 14 points just one time this year. That was in their 26-13 win here against Central. That was back in week 2. 3rd and 2. They put it on the ground. This is Thomas looking for a block to the outside, and he gets the first down. Past the 40. The Tigers sideline at the 41. And a gain of 6. The block out here by Antonio Floyd, number 11, the sophomore.
And they brought him in motion, and that got them an extra blocker, and that's what made them get the fresh set of downs at the Bosse 41.
5:13 to go first quarter, 6-0 Tigers. Again, empty backfield. Wagner with a quick hitter, and it is caught. And making it to the 45-yard line was Jadarian Wilson.
It's that same play, just a different receiver. Wilson, a good size, 6'3", 180. Goes from the 41 to the 46, give him 5. Coach Mullen will take 5 every time as they'll go empty backfield again.
And Coach Mullen playing fast here in the first quarter, no huddle. This is a backward pass caught by Tomlinson, and Tomlinson uses his speeds to jet up the Bulldogs sideline. He's out of bounds right around that first down stick at the 50, but there is a flag.
Yeah, if you're the stat guy like me, that's actually a run. That wasn't a pass that time, as you called it correctly. What you might see later on is that backward pass, and Tomlinson maybe throw the football.
And that play is wiped away because of a false start against Bosse. That's their third or fourth penalty, isn't it?
Well, actually fifth. That one, there was no yards, but the fifth penalty, but for only 18 yards. Bosse has moved the ball early in their possessions a couple of times. It's sustaining the drive that has created some deficiencies. Bosse was stopped on downs on their first possession, just into Memorial territory, and they had to punt it away after a Porter Road punt, put them deep in their own territory. Now this is their third possession.
2nd and 10. Moving out of the pocket. Throw comes to Hope. And Hope takes into Tigers territory with a strong stiff arm before he walks out of bounds at the Memorial 42-yard line.
Great job by Wagner making a defender miss, then steps up, and Hope doing a nice job just staying open there. He caught it, and just like that, they get another first down.
Again, no huddle for the Bulldogs. Wagner pump fakes, takes off running. And down he goes at the 40. It's a gain of 2. Tigers defense was quick to close on him. Carrick Johnson, the team's leader in tackles, his 54th tackle of the season.
He stayed his ground as Wagner gave him a couple of jukes. And in fact, he moved 3 times and Johnson couldn't move. And he just stayed there and he made the tackle. Good offensive strategy, having those wide receivers out there and Wagner delivering the football. We're going to have to find out at halftime how many passes he definitely did pass. 4 receivers out to the left.
He was looking to throw left, scrambles a bit, heaves it near side, leaping catch. It is brought in by Tomlinson inside the red zone down to the 15. So they loaded up the far side, came to the near side. Only wide receiver there was Tomlinson, and he brought it in.
43-yard line to the 15, into the red zone. So a 28-yard pickup. And Wagner extending the play on his scramble. It's already the 7th first down by Bosse.
They have a 1st and 10 now from the Tigers' 15-yard line. Thomas lines up as the running back next to Wagner. They give it to Thomas. He shoots to the outside, inside the 10, tiptoeing near sideline. Our official goes down. And looks like Thomas is short of the end zone.
Mark it at the 1 or 2 yard line.
Impressive for the official here on the near side to see that as he went tumbling on that play, but it appeared Thomas was short of the end zone.
But give him 14. They were at the 15. So Bosse, this drive started on their own 27-yard line, is down to the Tigers 1. Now they do it always from the gun. We've not seen them underneath the center.
Play clock was down to 2, but the officials reset the play clock. We'll see if Wagner keeps it himself or if he feeds Thomas on 1st and goal from the 1. And they were going to feed Thomas, but flags negate that play and early movement by Bosse.
Another procedure play, or a penalty. 3rd play that's happened. So back him up 5. Well, the Memorial defense stiffened in midfield and forced it on downs. They'd like to keep Bosse out of the end zone here. Tomlinson out wide to the left. Plenty of room out there, one-on-one coverage.
Wagner to throw, far side, one-on-one coverage, jump ball, and it is picked off. The Tigers defense comes up with an interception, and for Memorial, that is Desmond Johnson who pulls it in the end zone. His first interception of the season, and for the Tigers defense, their 3rd INT.
Good job by Johnson. He kept Tomlinson in front of them, and Wagner looks to float it over his head. Here's our replay. Gets it over there. Gets a little separation, and ball was a little short. And Johnson with the INT.
They were trying to target Tomlinson, the wide receiver, and Tomlinson gave a little bit of a shove. Before that pass was brought down by Johnson for the INT. So the Tigers offense takes over at their own 20. They feed Porter Road right up the middle, rumbling to the 25-yard line, and chalk up 5 or 6 for Porter Road.
Each team already, and we're still in the first quarter, has had 3 possessions.
How many games this year have we gone the entire quarter where each team had the football once?
Yeah, we've done that, and we've gone where halves where they've only had 3 or 4 possessions.
Tigers have the football leading 6-0, 2nd and 5 from their own 25-yard line. Collins in motion left to right. They give it to Collins looking for a block, and head of steam. Collins is tripped up at the 29-yard line. Thought he was going to break free there, but someone got him around the shoelaces. And that is the jet sweep, goes down as a pass, 3rd and short.
Bosse defense looking to get a 3 and out here.
On the 29-yard line, 3rd and 1 for the Tigers.
That was one of those plays you talked about, sending Collins in motion left to right, trying to incorporate him more into this offense. 3rd and short. Bosse jumped off sides. That'll give a freebie of a first down to Memorial. They were showing blitz, trying to bring the pressure, but they jumped too soon.
3 first downs for Memorial. 1 by the run, 1 by the pass, 1 by the penalty. But when you only have to go for your touchdown drive 25 yards, you don't get a lot of first downs.
Makes it nice.
7th penalty for Bosse here in the first 10 minutes.
So after the penalty, this next play comes from the 34-yard line. Fisher moving to his left, got some good protection up front, and the pass is brought in near sideline. A little toe tap by Luke Elsterman. Heady play by the sophomore to get his feet in bounds. It goes for a 9-yard completion.
Nice job by Fisher putting the ball up high where Elsterman, the only one who can catch it. He caught it, got his feet before it goes out, and picks up 9. Well-designed play, well executed. Makes up 2nd and short.
Yeah, Luke played a little bigger than 5'10" on that play. He got up there. Luke Elsterman came in, 21 catches, about 250 yards on the season. Looking to throw again. They come back here the near side, lofting it to Caleb Elsterman. All kinds of space to the 40. Needs one more block. He got that block. Touchdown Tigers. But it might come back for a penalty as several flags were thrown right at the 20-yard line. That'd be a blindside block, you think?
Yeah, block in the back, maybe 57 yards. He's going to get some yards. He's going to get a first down because the penalty's thrown at the 19. So it'll be a 38-yard pass completion, but a penalty wipes out 6.
Good design on that play. Had the Bosse defense fooled. All kinds of open space. Just needed one more block here on the near sideline. He got the block. It was just illegal.
15 yards. We'll move it back to the 34, actually to the 35. So the Tigers get a first down, but they don't get 6 points.
Takes away the second touchdown catch this season from Caleb Elsterman. Well, we'll try it again here. Late first quarter, Tigers on the move.
There's nobody on Leo Collins. Now they adjust over.
Fisher sets up the wide receiver screen pass caught by Luke Elsterman. Racing to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown Tigers. Second time's the charm. This time it's Luke Elsterman, though, who finds the end zone. His second receiving a touchdown of the season, 12-0 Tigers.
Is that TV show, Family Matters? That was the same concept, but that was more of a screen pass that was the bubble screen as opposed to the throwback screen.
They always say the younger child is more spoiled, so that time Luke got the touchdown instead of the older brother, Caleb. Here comes the PAT. This time, Barrett splits the uprights after missing the first kick of the night. It's 13-0 Tigers, late first quarter.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Because our academics prepare students to succeed in college and in life. I believe in educating our students to their highest potential. I believe in creating a welcoming, faith-based learning environment. And I believe a memorial education is the foundation for a bright future.
Explore the endless possibilities at Wrights Memorial.
Melk, located in Evansville, Indiana, provides mechanical, electrical, and plumbing solutions nationwide. We deliver quality service to the industrial, commercial, and healthcare industries. If you have a big project, we bring big solutions. That includes designing and installing green energy systems that benefit your business. Our in-depth knowledge and commitment to safety make us the perfect partner in MEP contracting. Contact us for an estimate on your next project. Melk, big projects, big solutions.
3 drives for Memorial and 2 scores. They lead 13-0 with a minute and 20 seconds to go. We're in quarter number 1.
Barrett might have a short kick here. No, he goes deep.
Kicks it to the 10-yard line. And on the return for Bosse, that is Amari Hope. And Hope is brought down by the Tigers special teams. And we can look at that last touchdown for the Tigers. They went with the wide receiver screen pass. It was caught by Luke Elsterman. He had all kinds of space.
He had space because he had some linemen blocking down there. As well-designed play. Coach Hurley comes back to the screen again. It worked one time. Let's work it twice.
It was a 5-play, 80-yard drive, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Scoring drive brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. Bosse's drive starts at their own 20. Give is to Thomas. Thomas head of steam. Gains 4. And Simplicity Furniture, they are located at 1309 North Green River Road in Evansville. Have fun shopping for furniture with the Coslets, Father Pat and sons Chase and Kelsey.
Picked up 4 yards.
Second and 7. They go right back to Thomas again on back-to-back plays, and he's stacked up by a couple of blue jerseys. Looked like Alex Broshears and Carrick Johnson were 2 of those guys down the tackle. No gain.
Yep. Pick your number in blue. There was 8 different guys around him. Good pursuit to the ball. Yeah, I have Bosse 8 first downs, Memorial 7. But Bosse's drives have stalled at midfield, and and in one possession got down to the Memorial 1. Penalties have really hurt Bosse here in this first quarter.
It'll be 3rd and 5. Bosse will let the game clock tick down, which ends quarter number 1. So the Tigers get a couple of scores. One from Caleb Elsterman, a 2-yard rushing touchdown. And then it was Luke Elsterman, a 35-yard touchdown catch. 13-0 Memorial after 1.
Welcome to The Book Broker, your go-to business for any collectibles that you may require. Founded in 1975, we provide our services throughout Evansville, Indiana, and the surrounding areas. We specialize in comic books, sports cards, games and videos, and much more. With a knowledgeable and committed team, we strive for excellence and provide quality services. Throughout the Evansville area, we are the go-to used bookstore for books and video games or sports cards and vinyl records, and we make sure that you get the services that you need. As a used bookstore that specializes in collectibles, we offer a variety of products to fit everyone in the family, making sure that you get the most out of every dollar spent. For more information, call 812-479-5647 or stop by our website for more information. Come in today and escape your reality.
13-0 Tigers after 1 quarter here from Inlow Field. Next week, the Wrights Panthers will make the trip across town here to Inlow Field for Week 7 and will be a big matchup in terms of the SIAC standings. Wrights, the only team undefeated in the conference, taking on Castle, who's in second place at 4-1. And right now, Castle actually leads Wrights 10-3 in the second quarter, so we'll keep a close eye on that throughout the night. Here to start the second quarter, the pass is almost picked off again by Sam Nichols. He had a close call in the first quarter as well. Instead, it brings up 4th down.
Wagner was running for his life on the backside, utilized his speed to keep the play alive, but that'll bring up 4th down and a punt.
So, again, we'll keep our eye on that Castle-Wrights game tonight. Castle in front of Wrights 10-3 in the second quarter. They're in the second quarter. Vincennes leads Harrison 21-7. After 1, Mater Dei on top of North 10-0. And at halftime, it is Jasper 12, Central nothing. Here is the punt by Bosse to the midfield stripe. All the Tigers scramble and say get out of the way. And it is down at the 45-yard line.
18-yard punt.
Ball will be down at the Bulldog 45-yard line where the Tigers will take over.
Tigers football brought to you by Oakland City University, Southern Indiana's premier faith-based professional university. Enter to learn, go forth to serve. Contact OCU at GoMightyOaks.com. Some of the Bosse players were arguing that it hit Memorial first, but it just hit the turf and went right to one of the Bulldogs players. So Tigers offense will take over from the midfield stripe.
Second time in Bosse territory they start a drive.
Other one, they got their first score off that in the first quarter, a 3-play 25-yard drive.
And they're really playing off of Collins. The defender is 8 yards off of him.
Good protection up front. Pass goes far sideline, streaking out. Would have been an easy 6, but it's dropped by Luke Elsperman, who just had a touchdown and almost had a second one.
Well, and it would not have counted anyway because there's a flag, I think, holding against the Tigers.
You are correct. It is a hold.
This drive, they haven't started on the 50. Huh?
Yeah, I think they claimed it touched a Bosse player before it was actually down to the 45, which we originally thought.
I gotcha.
So that makes it 1st and long now for the Tigers.
Third penalty for 30 yards against Memorial. They had 9 penalties last week. 3 receivers out this time. They'll come back to that screen.
They hand it off to Porter Road. Aggressive running right up the middle. Kept those legs moving before he is wrestled down at the 45-yard line.
David Hildreth in his linebacker spot.
Haven't seen much yet tonight from Porter Road. He came in averaging almost 100 yards per game. Empty backfield now for Fisher on second down. In the pocket, spins one middle of the field, and there is Porter Road right on cue with the catch inside the red zone down to the 10-yard line. Said I haven't called his name much tonight, and Porter Road says, how do you like that? Big gain from Fisher.
We'll get you the ball, but we're not going to hand it to you. We're going to throw it to you right down the middle. He came out of a slot position. Here we go, there's a replay. Nothing fancy, you go long. I'll hit it to you.
Tigers go quickly here now, 1st and goal from the 10. They're inside the red zone, brought to you by Peace of Mind Counseling. Looking to go up 3 scores here early in the second quarter. They shoveled out to Road, stumbles a bit, and back to line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain.
Good job by Hildreth coming in there and taking his legs from underneath him. Another long pass, this time 35-yarder.
Fisher, the quarterback, came in averaging about 150 yards through the air. That through 4 games he has played this year. Tigers, after going quickly, now slows the pace as they try to get their call in. Play clock down to 10. Second and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Collins in motion. Give is to Rode. He runs over a tackler straight up the gut in between the hash marks. Pick up a 5 to the 5-yard line, and it's third down.
Making the stop was Landon Lloyd. He cuts back. Gets in the 5, as you say.
Boy, Rode runs like he's much bigger than 5'9", 185, doesn't he?
He's built pretty good. He's got good acceleration.
Two wide receivers to the near side. They look to the near side. It is caught by Collins, and he is unable to escape. A couple of Bosse tacklers out of bounds at the 6 or 7. Memorial actually loses yards on that play.
Just that quick pass out in the flat, but Hildreth out there getting help also by Antonio Floyd. Up 13, deep in your opponent's territory. Fourth down. Go for it.
I'd say go for it if you don't get it. Bosse's offense is backed up.
7-yard line for the Tigers.
From the 7.
Elsperman, Caleb.
Fisher flings it, far side, back pylon, right in the breadbasket for a touchdown. It is Caleb Elsperman, the senior, pulls it in. He had a rushing touchdown earlier. Now a receiving score, his second touchdown catch of the season.
The secondary for Bosse, unsure who they were guarding. And it was Caleb. And Fisher found him.
So all three scores tonight have been thanks to an Elsperman. 2 by Caleb, 1 from Luke. And here is Barrett for the PAT. Everything clean on the snap and hold. The kick is good. Tigers in front by 3 scores. It's now 20-0 early second quarter.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Tigers offense rolling now, 20-0. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Glad you could join us here on IndianaSRN with Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. Tigers football is brought to you by Mel K. For all your commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing needs at Mel K. Big projects, big solutions. Barrett with the kickoff, middle of the field. It's returned past the 25-yard line up to the 30. This is a healthy return for the Bulldogs.
Good job.
And Mike, we go back to the scoring play for the Tigers. Caleb Elsperman, a 7-yard touchdown catch. There was some confusion by the Bosse defense.
Yeah, he just runs a deep out, and Fisher throws it, so only Caleb can catch it.
It's now 2 more touchdown passes tonight for Matthew Fisher. He now has 6 touchdown passes on the season, just 1 INT to this point. And that scoring drive was 6 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Scoring recap is brought to you by Simplicity Furniture. First play of this Bosse drive, quick hitter goes to the far sideline, and it's Antonio Floyd, the sophomore, with a short pitch and catch of about 6 yards.
That's their bread and butter play. That's been the one that's most successful. They just kind of stay with it. Yeah, as you can see, very rarely have they been trying to run between the tackles. 4 receivers out there this time.
Bad snap. It's loose, and the man that was in motion, Amari Hope, just falls on it way back at the 30-yard line. So Bosse will lose 10 yards, and it's 3rd and 15. Almost like Wagner wasn't expecting the snap more so than a poor snap.
Yeah, this is the 5th possession for Bosse. They've been able to move the ball almost every possession, but just miscues, penalties, turnovers have really stalled them offensively.
3rd and long. Once again, Hope in motion, left to right. Looking to throw. Quarterback takes off running. Wagner uses his legs to get to the 40-yard line before he's buried into the turf. A couple of Tigers on the tackle was Sam Nichols and Carrick Johnson.
I've said their names a lot.
Nichols has 2 plays that he probably wants back to where he thought he had interceptions tonight.
That's right.
As mentioned earlier, Carrick Johnson, team leader in tackles, top 3 in tackles for losses this year. So it is 4th and 4 for Bosse. They keep their offense on the field from their own 41-yard line, trailing 20-0. Wagner flips it out there. It is caught by Floyd, and Floyd will lose 2 or 3 yards. It is a turnover on down, so a good stop for the Tigers defense.
Second time they forced it on downs. Bosse, the first man to hit the receiver. So Memorial will get the ball in Bosse territory now for the 4th time, or 3rd time. Well, twice and then on the 50.
Yeah, just a reminder, Pet Food Center, they have locations on Evansville's east, west, and north sides, and also in Newburgh and Owensboro, Kentucky. Anything you want for your pet, we've got it, Pet Food Center. Drive starts from the Bosse 38-yard line. Trips wide receivers to the near side. They run it with Rode, though, looking for a block. Rode explodes forward and gets a yard, maybe.
Good job coming up, Timothy Wilkerson.
Well, I think one positive tonight has been at least the Bosse run defense. They've contained Rode for the most part.
Gain of a yard on the play, 2nd and 9.
About halfway through the second quarter, it's 20-0 Tigers.
11 guys within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage.
They go to Collins, who fumbles it a bit. Gets out of one tackle, and he is brought down from behind. Here at the 34-yard line. Good job by Collins to get some positive yards out of that. It was almost disaster as he almost fumbled it.
Yeah, almost a mishandle, a missed block, and still ends up picking a few yards. Give credit to Keith Hall playing his area and making the stop.
So it's 3rd and 6. Kind of in territory also that could be 4-down territory if you don't get it on this play. Balance set, 2 wide receivers each side.
They play off of Hugh Pierce at the left slot.
There goes Collins. And a flag flies before the snap.
Flag on the play.
Early movement by Memorial.
That's their 4th penalty in the game for 35 yards. A couple of guys moving at the same time. You can't do that. This is not Canadian football.
Well, Mike, we've seen them make a much more of an effort to get Collins involved. More touches. Something they're hoping to incorporate this week and to carry on throughout the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, so far it's a mixed bag of work in progress.
So it's 3rd and 11. Single wide receiver is Leo Collins on the near side. Fisher under some pressure, has to take off running. Now flings it far side, and a great catch right around the 10-yard line by Luke Elsperman. Had coverage all over his backside, and somehow Elsperman was able to haul it in. Good throw by Fisher on the move as well, as he had Jadarian Wilson breathing down his neck. It's a big gain, 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Here's your replay. Fanat, stride for stride with Luke Elsperman. Fisher puts it right on the number, and Fanat makes the tackle, but they're back in the red zone, are the Tigers again.
And they're going quickly here. First and goal from the 10 inside the Peace of Mind Counseling red zone. This is Road. Straight ahead now. Gain of a yard or two. It's been tough sledding on the ground for Road here in the opening half. Did have that big catch moments ago.
David Hildreth forces him inside. And could have had a tackle for loss, but Porter juked him away. No hurry. Still just under 5 minutes to go in half. Memorial did not score and had to punt the ball on their first possession. Their next three, they've put it in the end zone. Looking for 4 in a row.
Play clock inside of 10 seconds as the Tigers break the huddle. I'll have to hurry up here down to 5 seconds. They go with the fullback Seward, and Seward gets to the 5. That's a gain of 4. And for Seward, that's just his 4th carry of the season. Does have 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah, he had 1 carry, 1 yard, 1 touchdown last week.
So now it's 3rd and goal as we are right around 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Well, all 3 scores tonight have been by an Ellsperman. 2 from Caleb, 1 from Luke. Who could it be this time? If the Tigers can find the end zone. Rolling out as Fisher on play action. Surveying. Rips one to the end zone. It is another Ellsperman. Caleb, touchdown Tigers. His 3rd touchdown of the night. 2 receiving, 1 rushing.
Nice job. Fisher was able to get around the edge, get away from the inside rush, and in traffic finds Caleb.
That's the 3rd touchdown pass tonight for Matthew Fisher, giving him 7 on the season. And the kick is good by Pate Barrett. We'll step aside, 3:37 to go in the second quarter. All Tigers tonight, 27-0.
Our students love Wrights Memorial.
Memorial helps me find the right rhythm on stage and in my education. I believe in developing my craft. I believe in building a community. And now, I believe I can hit the right notes in all aspects of life.
Showcase your talents at Wrights Memorial.
Zip, 3:37 to play second quarter. Caleb Ellsperman with his 3rd score of the night. 2 catching, 1 rushing. Last one was a 4-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Fisher. As the Bulldogs, the kickoff, return to the 25-yard line. And saw Fisher scramble to his right, got some good protection, and then just hummed one right through that open space, finding Caleb.
And the secondary drop looked like they had everybody covered.
Fisher seems to throw pretty well on the run. Last few weeks we've seen him make a handful of good throws, not just in the pocket but on the move as well. That was a 6-play, 38-yard drive that took 1 minute and 37 seconds. Scoring recap is brought to you by Simplicity Furniture, and the Bulldogs now get it back with 3:32 to play here in the second, trailing 27-0.
Bosse had a lot of first downs early in their possessions. In fact, their 3rd possession of the game, they had a 65-yard drive down to the 1, but couldn't score as Thomas gets a good run and another first down.
So a positive play for the Bosse offense, takes it out past the 40.
Jaden Thomas on the catch. Number 5, Elijah Wagner. He's brought down by number 21, Shaq Brackett.
So at the gain of the 41-yard line, first down for Bosse. They've worked quickly quite a bit tonight going no huddle. Empty backfield now for Wagner. Looks left, throws right. Leaping catch by Amari Hope. He gets out of bounds into Tigers territory at the 49.
They'd like to break the pattern. They get a couple of first downs early in their drives, and then Bosse somehow hurts themselves with a loss or penalty or a turnover.
Wagner under pressure, gets away from two different guys and then just flings it out of bounds. Closest receiver was Amari Hope. Good pressure by the Tigers front, second down.
Yeah, and we're going to have a couple of halftime guests, a couple of Memorial coaches, Maddie Ayton, the volleyball coach, and Stuart Moore, the boys tennis coach. So stick around for halftime.
So after the incomplete pass, it is second down. Wagner, who's thrown the ball quite a bit tonight. Flag flies in the area of holding. Doesn't matter. Down he goes for a sack.
He'll lose 6 if they decline the penalty.
White hat. Mike Beasley looks over to the Tigers sideline, gets the decision from Coach Hurley. He says, I want to decline it. So it'll be third and long after the sack for the Tigers defense.
Didn't see who got the tackle for loss in the sack. I'll have to look on the video for that one. Well, Bosse had 7 penalties in the first quarter, none here in the second stanza.
Third down and long. Here's a backward pass. Now Hope looking to just chuck it down the field, and it is picked off. Third time the charm for Sam Nichols. He had a couple of pass attempts slip through his fingertips tonight, but Nichols pulls that one down for the INT. His second interception of the season. There is a flag back the line of scrimmage, but I believe it was against Bosse.
Second interception, Desmond Johnson the other, so Memorial with just under 3 minutes to go will get the ball once again. We got a replay.
You know, it's funny too because Nichols talked about those 2 passes that he dropped that could have been interceptions earlier. This was probably his most difficult attempt of the night, and that was the one he brought in.
Amari Hope actually gets credit for that interception. It was that double pass. We thought we'd see that eventually.
We'll see the Tigers can get one more score on the board. They've got 2 minutes and 42 seconds to work with, and also 2 timeouts, so time not really an issue. And their scoring drives tonight have been rather quick. From the 38-yard line, Fisher spins it near sideline, caught by the man of the night, Caleb Elsperman. The senior strolls out of bounds at the 45. It's a gain of 7. Caleb again tonight with 2 receiving touchdowns and 1 rushing score.
I think the Tigers can initiate their 2-minute offense here.
Fisher looks toward the sideline per usual. Now ready to go again. He's got Caleb Elsperman and Porter Road in the backfield with him.
Screen.
Looking to set up the screen pass. Caught by Collins. Jukes out of 1 tackle. Trying to change sides of the field. And a lot of work to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Give credit to the Bosse defense. That one, they had that one smelled out, and everybody played their area. And Collins runs about 35 yards for no gain.
He had to work hard for that no gain, didn't he? Approaching 2 minutes to play, second quarter. This will be a 3rd and 3.
Tight coverage by Caleb Elsperman.
On play action, lofting it out, far sideline, 101 coverage, and it is picked off. They were trying to go to Luke Elsperman, but the pass from Fisher was intercepted. Good play by the Bosse secondary.
Aaron Fernot, one too many times trying to do that one-on-one coverage to Luke. So the first turnover for the Tigers.
Yeah, Fanat with the interception, of 5'9" junior. That was really well covered. We've seen Fisher lead his wide receivers so well last couple of weeks on those type of plays, but this time the Bosse defender, Fanat with the interception, so the Bulldogs get it back again here in the second quarter from their own 25-yard line. On 1st and 10, dancing around is Wagner. Now he takes off running and ducks his head, brought down just past the line of scrimmage. And there was a flag that gets thrown after the play. I think one of the Bosse players shoved the Tiger. So this might back him up. A personal foul after the play. Some frustration on the Bosse side. Jack Brackett got credit for the tackle. Brackett actually came in 5th in tackles on this Tigers defense. He's now up over 30 on the season.
We talked about in the open, a lot of different guys have gotten tackles. Luke Elsperman actually gets a tackle on offense on that interception. But they'll march it back half the distance. So that's their 8th penalty for 40 yards.
Got some scores from the SIAC. We'll give them to you after this second and 22 play. Wagner throws it out in the flat, incomplete, trying to collaborate with Antonio Lloyd. 3rd and long now. Second quarter action on the west side at the Wrights Bowl. Castle and Wrights tied at 10. Halftime, Vincennes leads Harrison 28-7. And these other two scores are also halftime. Mater Dei 13, North 0. Jasper 12, Central 0. That game is at Central.
Wrights and Castle, they might play till midnight. Very close game.
Well, I did see a text from someone that is covering the game that I guess Wrights' starting quarterback, the Davies kid, is not playing tonight. He's still banged up, so it's Vera who is filling in at the quarterback spot.
We've had a lot of that this year. I think we've had about 4 different teams with quarterbacks not be playing for various reasons. Timeout, Bosse.
3rd and long when we come back.
Support the local economy and save more when you shop at the Pet Food Center. We have over 6,000 pet-related items for dogs, cats, birds, fish, reptiles, turtles, rabbits, hamsters, gerbils, and more. Anything you want for your pet, we've got it. Includes full lines of the best pet food, bird seeds, a full line of heated pet products, pet clothing, toys, and more. Walk in, curbside pickup, shop online, and free local delivery.
Anything you want for your pet, we've got it. The Pet Food Center.
Why do our students love Wrights Memorial?
Because I can grow stronger on the field and in my faith. I believe in my teammates. I believe in my classmates. And through Christ, I believe I can accomplish anything.
Come live your faith at Wrights Memorial.
Bosse just used their second timeout of the half. They have a 3rd and 22 backed up at their own 13-yard line.
We might get another timeout if Bosse doesn't get a first down. Coach Hurley will try to preserve as much time on the clock. As
I know Bosse's punting game has not been strong tonight or really this year, so they get a stop here, could have good field position. 3rd and long. They just heave it down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That was Antonio Lloyd who was streaking out there. They have a Lloyd and a Floyd on the team. That was Antonio Floyd trying to show off his speed. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you always talk about offense, defense, and special teams. I always like to thought the third or the second 3 tiers. Takeaways, time of possession, and field position. And Memorial's had great field position this first half.
Wobbly kick, not much hang time. And this is Elsherman on the return. He's found the end zone 3 times tonight, and he has a solid return there. Angled out of bounds around the 20, and numerous flags on the play.
Well, he took it on the 43. Looks like there's a penalty on the 28. So it looks like he'll get about a 15-yard return. Probably another block in the back against the Tigers. So that'll wipe out a gain of about a 15 more yards.
Again, stick around for our halftime show tonight. Couple of guests on to be Matty Ayton, the head coach of the Tigers volleyball team. Also Stuart Moore of the boys tennis team. We'll chat with both of them, or at least Mike Scavara will at the halftime break.
Now, does Nick Herman from Rockabar come by and bring pizza for the second half too?
Does he deliver dessert? That's the real question.
That's dessert. We'll have to find out. We'll ask to talk to Nick about it. But again, if you want lunch or dinner, maybe not after this game, but go to the Rockabar on 1618 South Kentucky. Been there, same location since 1943. I wasn't even around in 1943.
The Tigers will have about a minute to work with, starting from the Bosse 43-yard line. On play action, Fisher lofts one near sideline and almost brought in by Caleb Elshman. Pretty good coverage here once again by Adrian Jackson, the junior cornerback. It's 2nd and 10.
Fisher's arm's got to be getting tired. We'll have to try to get some stats at halftime for both quarterbacks because, and it's 8:15. We're still playing the first half.
Tigers offense trying to get organized here. 5 wide receivers set, empty backfield. Fisher, quick pass, caught by Rowe to the 40. Hurls, one tackler at the 30, and out of bounds is Porter Road. How about that move? That's what Mike Scavara would do. He just jump right of the tackler.
That's right. Because I certainly don't want to get tackled, and Porter didn't either. And he's got the athletic ability to pull that off, though.
So they spotted at the 26-yard line. And Road has done more damaged receiving passes tonight than he has on the ground. There were 5 wide receivers set, 45 seconds to go in the half. Good catch by Caleb Elshman. He's been busy tonight, stays in bound, clock continues to run, and now Coach Hurley will burn his second timeout. It's a gain of about 7 there from Fisher to Caleb Elshman. And while we have a second, we remind you, Tigers football brought to you by the Book Broker. At the Book Broker, you can buy new and used comics, sports cards, and sports memorabilia. Get your favorite gaming and video games, and also Blu-ray and DVDs. Of course, you can get books at the Book Broker. They are located at 2717 Covert Avenue in Evansville.
Well, this is going to get the bragging rights at the Elshman household this weekend, that's for sure.
Right now it's Caleb.
They probably could both brag, though, because like you've chronicled before, it's Elsperman's getting all the touchdowns.
Well, the one that Luke had late in the first quarter to make it 13-0, it was the play after Caleb had one that was called back. So if there's no penalty on that play, Caleb will have all 4 touchdowns.
That's right. In any case, I'm sure the team guys that they are, they're just saying, we're the ones that are getting the points. The team's getting the job done. And, of course, Matthew Fisher, he's delivered 3 passes. He's got to do that. And for the most part, he's had good protection by the other backs and the offensive line. They'll empty out the backfield again this time. They got the same formation where Porter Road ran straight down the middle.
On 2nd and 3, and pass goes out of bounds. They were trying to hook up with Collins, and Tigers were wanting a flag, but they could have made the argument if you're a referee that the pass was not catchable. 3rd and 3.
Well, the ball is on the 19-yard line, so if they don't get any more yards on this play, it would be about a 46-yarder for Pete Barrett.
Longest Barrett has made this year, 34 yards.
Missed on a 42-yarder.
If they go back to Collins again here on the near side.
You might see a crossing pattern here.
In the pocket. Fisher steps up, gets rid of it just in time, and the pass toward the end zone was short of his intended target. Had a couple of guys back there, one of which was Leo Collins, also Hugh Pierce. And it's 4th and 3 with 31 seconds to go.
Fisher had a running lane, but he might be on the orders not to run too much.
Well, we talked about that rushing touchdown he had last week against Harrison. He got clobbered in the end zone, and well, there were some nervous coaches on the Tigers sideline, we heard.
Well, Fanat and Luke Elsperman one-on-one coverage. In fact, one-on-one coverage throughout the secondary. Nobody in the middle, no safety in the middle.
4th and 3. Wide open is Collins for the first down inside the 10. Lowers his shoulder, refuses to go down. He's finally angled out of bounds by Tim Wilkerson. They pick up the first down with ease. 1st and goal right around the 5 with 25 seconds to go and still one timeout to use.
1st and goal.
Do they run it in with that one in your pocket? And they mark it on the 6.
Well, Road hasn't had much luck running the ball tonight. They're looking to throw. Fisher moving to his left, surveys toward the end zone, and wisely just throws the ball out of bounds. About into lane 5 or 6 of the track here at Enlow Field. That took 6 seconds off the clock, and it's 2nd and goal.
Keith Hall applying the pressure for Bosse.
I mean, if you wanted to sneak on a run, you could. Use your timeout, and you look at it as, hey, we've got 2 plays to find the end zone if you don't score on that rushing play.
You're in chip shot field goal range if you get it to a 4th down and get the clock stopped before it hits 0-0.
Well, I've liked when they've gone on the Wildcat as well, where Caleb just lines up and just follows Porter Road as his blocker. 2nd and goal. Fisher toward the back pylon, far side, trying to lead Hugh Pierce, but too far. Pierce couldn't track it down. 3rd down and goal.
Adrian Jackson there, stride for stride with you. The thing about when you're down on the 6-yard line, the field shrinks because Bosse only has to defend about 15, 16 yards.
So once again, 3rd and goal from the 6. Here's that Wildcat formation. It is Elsherman up the middle, and he got down to the 1-yard line short of the end zone, and Memorial calls a timeout with 6 seconds to go. 4th and goal from the 1. So there's that play I was talking about out of the Wildcat. Elsherman almost got into the end zone, and now it's decision time for Coach Hurley.
Offensive coordinator, Jevin Redmond, good call there. His knee went down. He actually fell into the end zone with the ball, but his knee was down at the 1.
Well, I'm sure the Tigers will go for it here. I mean, you're close enough to where, I don't know if you really want Fisher doing a quarterback sneak, but you can almost run the same play again with either Elsherman under center or go in that Wildcat and try it again.
Well, the Wildcat position, again, they have not been able to defend it at all and stop at the line of scrimmage. So we still might see that, but not on this play. They'll bring in Carrick Johnson as a fullback blocker. Dot the I with Porter Road. Strength on strength. We're going to see who wins. They bring in a tight end, Jack Brackett on right side.
It is the fullback, Carrick Johnson, and he dives in. Touchdown Tigers. Johnson's first rushing score of the season, and with 2 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, the Tigers cash in, and they build on their lead. Now in front, 33-0.
Now, do you go for 2? Because if you go for 2 and are successful, it's 35-0, and you'll start with a running clock in the 2nd half.
I say go for it then, Mike Scavara.
That's what they're going to do. They have the offense out there. Comes with it 2 seconds remaining.
I joked with some of the Tigers coaches last week that And they went for 2 early in that game against Harrison, didn't get it. That cost them the running clock last week. They got up 34 points instead of 35.
Well, earlier in the week, you put in a 2-point conversion play. This is what they put in.
Shovel pass, Collins upended, and he did not make it. Boy, I thought for sure the way that play was developing that Collins was going to be able to scamper into the end zone, but he got upended, and hopefully Collins is okay. He's limping back to the sideline.
Keith Hall was the man that stopped him. Give big number 8 in the white jersey credit on that play.
For the 2-point conversion is no good.
So the 2-point try is no good, and Tigers football is brought to you by Scott Stratman, attorney at law. He is an experienced and affordable Evansville attorney for over 28 years. You can call Scott Stratman 812-425-5345 for help with litigation and estate and nursing home planning. Get legal advice, call attorney Scott Stratman 812-425-5345. Here's a look at that fullback dive from Carrick Johnson, his first rushing touchdown of the season.
All 5 offensive linemen were 2 yards into the end zone. So good offensive line surge. Give credit to that offensive line for Memorial Tigers. They came up big as Cassidy, Wade, Vaughn, Hartig, and Mattingly.
I had it as 8 plays. Do you have the yards and time?
I've got 41 yards on the play, and the time was 52 seconds.
It's another quick drive brought to you by Simplicity Furniture, located at 1309 North Greener Road in Evansville. Have fun shopping for furniture with the Coslets, Father Pat and sons Chase and Kelsey. Barrett with a kickoff. This should take us to the end of the half.
Reverse.
Thomas on the return, brought down to 20. And that play takes us to the end of the first half. So the Tigers in cruise control here tonight, leading 33-0 over Bosse, and they are well on their way to their 4th straight win.
And that will bring us to the end of the first half.
Mike Scavara dominated a half by the Tigers, and as you kind of look ahead to the second half, you know, the game appears to be well in control. If you're head coach John Hurley, what's your message to the team at halftime, knowing your team is up 33-0?
It's 0-0. You have to put out the same effort that you put out in the first 24 minutes. As Memorial only had to punt the ball once. That was a 48-yarder to put Bosse down to the 1. And they scored 5 times, and then they had the 1 turnover.
Let's go back to a play from earlier in the first half. Get a chance to use our telemetry sports to find out how quickly Caleb Elshman was moving on a touchdown that was called back because of a hold, but it was a well-designed play. There you see Caleb Elshman with blazing speed. He got up to 19.5 there at the very end before he walked into the end zone. I believe that's the fastest one we've had this year, at least my memory serves correct. 19.5. Telemetry Sports, for more than 6 years, they have been working with the NFL and multiple college football teams as a data and technology provider. Players' speeds and accelerations that they are providing us is generated using computer vision, the same technology as autonomous vehicles. As you watch these players, keep in mind that anything over 18 miles per hour is very fast and impressive for high school and college athletes. And there on that play, Caleb Elshman was over that 18 mile per hour mark at 19.5 miles per hour. Well, again, coming up here during our halftime show, we will chat with Maddie Ayton, the head volleyball coach at Memorial High School, and then also Stuart Moore, the head boys tennis coach for the Tigers. That is coming up next in our halftime show from Enlow Field. 33-0 Memorial at recess.
All right.
School football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
When I
I'm at a Super Bowl and I walk in that stadium at kickoff time and I see that football sitting down there on that field, I get goosebumps because I sewed that football. I am Jane Helser. I recently retired. I started working at Wilson on April 13th, 1966. I was 19 years old. I put an application at Wilson. I got the job, never thinking that I'd be there for 48 years. I enjoyed what I did, so I just stayed.
The Wilson football factory here, it's actually like a secret. I was raised about 20 miles from here and never even knew this place was here. We make NFL footballs year-round. We manufactured the ball for every Super Bowl, and every point scored in the NFL since 1941 has been scored with a Wilson football. Jane was the longest tenured employee when she retired.
I would get up at about 3:30 in the morning to be on the job at 5 a.m. I had to oil up my machine every day. I could sew about 150 footballs a day. A football is made from a big piece of leather. It's cut out like a cookie cutter, and that panel is split down to a certain size. They're stamped with a logo, and then there's a lining that's put on it to hold the shape of the ball. When I get the football, it's in 4 panels. There's the top 2 panels. Those 2 are sewed together, leaving the opening. Then I sew the bottom 2 panels together. After the lace holes are punched and the seam are pounded down, then I sew the full section together. The rule of thumb is you don't make a good football sewer until you run a needle through your finger. One time the needle just slid up underneath the foot, stuck in my finger. They put an ice pack on it, took me to the doctor, he cut it out, and I went back to work the rest of the afternoon. I'm tough. The turner gets the nice job of turning it right side out. Then it goes to the lacer, he or she, puts a bladder in it and then laces it. After it goes to the lacer, it's molded. Then the ball is ready to be inspected.
Sewing the football together is probably the most important quality as far as manufacturing. The ball has to have perfect seams, the ends have to line up perfectly, and therefore I think sewing is probably the most critical job in manufacturing the ball. We do not want to change the product in its total, because the most important thing is the integrity of football. So our thing's consistency, make a consistent product that feels the same to the player every time they pick it up.
There's a cold swing. I tell people that I've been to 9 Super Bowls, but I've never been to an Ohio State football game. I've been to Miami twice, Tampa twice, Arizona twice, soon to be the 3rd time, New Orleans and Indianapolis. I'm just a worker that got a job when I was 19 years old and stayed there and was able to try to do the best job I could. And I've been rewarded greatly for it.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool, but they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We are at halftime here at Enlow Field in Evansville, Indiana, where Evansville Memorial leads Evansville Bosse 33-0. I'm Mike Scavara with our halftime guests, our first of two, Maddie Ayton, the volleyball coach in her second year at Evansville Memorial, as we've had a great opportunity to talk with some of the coaches. And Maddie, thanks for taking the time and spend time with us and talk about volleyball at Tigerland.
Thanks for having me.
Well, just talk a little bit about your season so far.
We are currently 9-7 on the season, 2-3 in conference play. We've lost some pretty tough 5-set matches against good teams, but every day we're in the gym trying to get better. That's our goal, making sure that each practice we come out better as individuals and better as a team all together.
Volleyball, very popular sport. Just your thoughts about the volleyball competition in Southwest Indiana.
We've got great competition. We just played Castle, who went to state last year and were runner-ups. They've got a great program. Wrights has a great program right now too. So we face some really good teams even in our conference and even just around here within 50 miles or so. We played Tecumseh, and they're just great competition for us as well.
Second year coach at your alma mater, a 2014 Memorial grad. What got you interested in volleyball and interested in coaching it?
Well, I had a great coach when I was in high school, Coach Kim Bell. She taught me a lot about the game and life and just made me fall in love with it. And before I came back to coach here, I coached for 3 years at North Posey High School, and it was kind of fun just to put my mark on a new place and to build my own program there. But nothing as special as coming back to Memorial and just giving back to the school that I got so much from. 6 players on the court. Who's some of the key ones? Senior Sarah Church, Caroline Jones, and Hannah Kent. They're all just great leaders. They're great examples for the girls as well. And we've got a few juniors that make a pretty good mark on us. Avery Paris, she's our middle hitter. And then we've got Regan Sewart, who's also in the middle, and some underclassmen that do really well for us also. Maddie Ayton, the volleyball coach at Memorial. Hard to believe that the season's about coming to an end and comes tournament time. Yes, we've got about 2 weeks of season play before tournament. Now, what class are you in, and what's the level of competition that you're going to run into in the sectionals? We are in 3A, and they just reclassified 3A this year. So we will see Modern Day, Mount Vernon's in there as well. So those are highly competitive teams. And we play Boonville, Gibson Southern. So a lot of good area teams that we could run into. Well, Maddie, we appreciate you taking the time and talking to us, and good luck the rest of the way during the regular season and tournament action as well. All right, thank you very much. All right, that's Maddie Ayton, the volleyball coach at Evansville Memorial. We're going to take this break and then next talk to Stuart Moore, the boys tennis coach at Memorial, right after these words.
Never miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to IHSAATV.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
You're good at making big announcements.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
We are back here at halftime where Evansville Memorial leads Evansville Bosse 33-0. Our halftime guest, Maddie Ayton, of our volleyball coach earlier here at halftime. Now, Stuart Moore, the boys tennis coach at Memorial. Stuart, thanks for taking the time, and certainly the season rapidly coming to a close for boys tennis in the state of Indiana. Just talk a little bit about your team and how things have gone so far.
So far, so great. We've got a really good team. We finished the regular season 15-3, and we're looking forward to some really good results in the playoffs. Got a really strong team. We were lucky to have 21 guys start, and it's a lot for 7 varsity spots. Got a really strong team. The top 2 guys are sophomores named Patrick Pickering and Vincent DeWeese. Number 3 singles behind them is Blake Anderson, and 1 doubles we've got Luke Woodyard and Luke DeWeese. Benny's brother, and 2 doubles we've got Shoria Jadhav and Owen Zausch. Really strong team. Well,
21 participants. Yeah. How does that break down to in the various classes?
We have 5 seniors, probably 4 juniors, and then the rest sophomores and freshmen. But the 2 standout players are sophomores, which is really promising for the future because they have a real shot to do something special. So
15-3.
Correct.
Does that fashion a lot of dual meets, or how have you done in tournament competition?
2 invitationals. We were 2-1 in the first one at Terre Haute a couple of weeks ago, and then just this last weekend, the guys went 15-0 in Columbus East, which was a really great result. They actually didn't even lose a set. There was 1 tiebreaker, so far so great. They're doing great.
I appreciate Stuart Moore, the boys tennis coach at Memorial, for taking time to talk to us. So, getting ready to play in those singles and doubles, how do you determine who's going to play where and when?
That's a great question, because singles is a very different thing than doubles, and so we do the rankings mostly by singles, but then it's a sort of a feel game to see who's best at doubles. It is a different animal, even though it's the same sport. It's a very different thing, but we're really lucky to have guys who are really good at both. So
season over with. Talk about tournament.
Yeah, this next weekend, Thursday and Friday at North High School, we're going to have the sectionals, and everything goes well, perhaps regionals Tuesday, Wednesday, of the week after that, and onwards and upwards. We're looking to do good things this postseason. All right,
Stuart Moore, the boys tennis coach. Appreciate you taking the time, and good luck in tournament time. Keep in touch.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We'll be back.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well.
With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
All right, here we go. Ready for the second half at Enloe Field. Memorial in front, 33-0, alongside Mike Scavara. I'm Jevin Redmond. Caleb Elsherman, 3 touchdowns in the opening half, 2 receiving, 1 rushing. Luke Elsherman had a 35-yard touchdown catch. And the final score before the halftime break was a 1-yard fullback dive from Carrick Johnson, his first rushing touchdown of the season. Tigers tried to go for 2 after this score from Johnson and did not make on a shovel pass to Collins, so that is why it is 33-0 Memorial as we start things here in the third quarter. And Memorial will receive the opening kickoff. For Bosse, it'll be Amari Hope who does the kicking. And the second half is underway. It's an onside kick, high hopper, and if it went 10 yards, the Bulldogs have it. And they got a friendly hop. Onside kick recovered by the Bulldogs. I guess it did go 10 yards before it was recovered.
Well, great strategy there at halftime by Coach Mullen. Why not? You're down 33. Pull out all the stops. So you have to find out who got that recovery. So the discussion is maybe a Memorial player touched it. No, because it did go 10 yards.
Yeah.
Because it's on the Memorial 48.
Yeah, so the Bulldogs are going to get the football here on the...
I'm going to have to change my drive sheet now from a M to a B here.
And a flag, fitting with how the first half went, on snap number 1 of the third quarter.
Procedure against Bosse.
Tigers football real quick is brought to you by Royal Express Car Wash. Heath, Pete, and Tina Rupp are the owners of Royal Express Car Wash and proud sponsors of Memorial Football. For a clean car, visit their locations on the west side of Evansville, on Pearl Drive, or 1201 North Fulton Avenue. First play from scrimmage goes for negative yards. That was J.D. Thomas. Didn't run the ball a ton in the first half. He loses a healthy amount there, and after the penalty, it'll be second and long.
Joey Collins, a defensive end, said, Thomas, you're not going to get around me this time, and comes up with the loss that goes from the 48 to the 40, so -8.
So second and 22 for Bosse at their own 40-yard line. Had a scoreless first half. Mentioned earlier they've been shut out twice this year. Offense only averaging 10 points per game. Wagner wanted to throw. Now he takes off running, and he zooms into Tigers territory down to the 44-yard line. He gets a healthy amount of those yards back, and it'll set up a very manageable third down.
Broken play there that time proves positive as one of those opportunities that they take advantage of, and they move it back into Memorial territory. Got Elijah Wagner. Not a lot of passes downfield, a lot of those short versions, and they've been able to move the ball. It's got to be frustrating because, Bosse, as you said, has not scored, but they've moved the football on occasions, and now we've got a more yardage tacked on because we have a penalty against Memorial.
It's a personal foul face mask, so tack on 15 yards, and that will give Bosse their first down.
So that moves it down to the Memorial 29. They actually in the first half got down to the Memorial 1, then had a penalty and then lost it. Inside double reverse.
Ends up going to Floyd, and Floyd is stacked up short of the 20-yard line. Does gain about 5 or 6. And the Bulldogs, they were able to move the football a several times in that first half, but just could not cash in.
It's that sudden change. You recover the onside kick to start the second half, and all of a sudden the defense thought they were going to be on the sidelines. Now they're out on the field. Let's see if the bend but don't break mentality they had in the first half can come to the surface here. Trips out to the right. Now they'll say, well, we got to go and do it to the left. They're not quite sure where everybody's supposed to be, and play clock's down to 6.
And Bosse says, timeout. Let's regroup as they're on the move early third quarter after recovering the onside kick.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Second and 4 for Bosse after they had to call a timeout to get reorganized. There's confusion as they were lining up for the second down play. 33-0 Tigers. Bosse recovered the onside kick to start this half. Empty backfield for Wagner. Looks like a design quarterback run. Has several good blocks in front of him, and he squeezes through inside the red zone down to the 14. It's a gain of 8 for Elijah Wagner and the Bulldogs inside the red zone.
Jackson Draper along with Sam Nichols. No huddle. Same play, maybe the other way.
Wagner, quick pass. Caught behind the line of scrimmage by Amari Hope. Hope trying to get back to that initial line of scrimmage, and he maybe lost a yard. Good pursuit by the Tigers defense.
He did all he could to make that mitigating down to -1 instead of losing more. And that's their main bread and butter offense. Get it quick out into the flat and try to outrun the defense.
We'll say a loss of a yard, so it is second down and 11. Chain Gang has it as fourth down, but it's second. The give is to Thomas. Got out of one tackle, but not the second.
Joey Collins' is second tackle for loss in this possession from his right defensive end position. I think they schooled him at halftime. It says, do not let Thomas out wide.
Cassidy also got credit for the tackle, but as you mentioned, Joey Collins was the first man in there to slow down Thomas. 3rd and 16. It's like a late sub on for the Bulldogs as they try to get set. Play clock down to 5 seconds. Wagner wants to take off running again. He has great speed. The outside of the 10, Wagner to the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Bosse.
Good job, Wagner. Gets it in from 19 yards out. And Bosse on the board. A design play ends up a run and a score. They're going to go for 2. And Wagner might keep it again.
Well, he's been their best offense tonight, has Wagner. Moving to his right. He will run, and he dives for that pylon. He got in. 2-point try is good for Wagner. So Bosse with a strong start here in quarter number 3. They recover the onside kick, and they go down the field, and they score a touchdown. As we will keep it here after the 2-point try is good by Wagner. It's now 33-8 Memorial. 3 minutes gone here in the third quarter. There was a 7-play drive for Bosse.
2 minutes and 57 seconds. And they go 48 yards. Nice job getting the corner that time and then outrunning about 3 defenders. We talked about the beginning, Bosse has speed demonstrated there.
At Wrights Memorial High School, they are providing an environment where God inspires, we educate, and students thrive since 1925. You can check out the website, wrightsmemorial.org, for more information.
Well, it worked once. You're down 33-8. I think the all-hands onside kick team is out there for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'd say Bosse is going to go for it again. Why not? It was executed well. Open up the second half. They got a friendly high hop.
We'll have to apologize. We did not know the young man that recovered it. We'll have to mention that, if not tonight, next week.
So Hope does not onside kick it. And the Tigers fall around their own 45-yard line. And now we will see the offense for the first time here in the second half.
Jeremiah McGuire, the man falling on it.
I mentioned we'd keep tabs on that Castle-Wrights game at last check. Early third quarter, Wrights leading Castle 17-10. Wrights trying to stay undefeated before they visit the Memorial Tigers next week here at Enloe Field.
Donovan Baker in at running back. He started the first couple of games while Porter Road was not playing. Got to make sure they got all the right people out there. Now they're going to have Baker and Rhodes in the backfield together.
Baker was the starting running back first couple of weeks before Rhodes came back, and Baker gets the first call of the night. Goes for a yard, tripped up at the line of scrimmage.
Good job up there. Underneath was Keith Hall along with Jadrian Griffin.
Donovan Baker on the carry, number 5.
Well, Baker in his junior season, and the amount of work he has put in this year, 38 carries, 156 yards, averaging about 4 yards per rush.
Coach Hurley may be looking to keep it on the ground and run some clock.
Fisher throws this time. Caught by Hugh Pierce, but a short gain. That'll go for 3 yards. Good tackle. And here by Antonio Floyd, the sophomore. I believe that is Hugh Pierce's first catch of the night.
I believe so, too.
So it's third down for the Tigers. Their first offensive drive here in the third quarter.
3rd and 6 for the Tigers.
And we might have an injury on the Bosse side. One of their players cramping up.
Got an injured Bulldog on the play.
Antonio Floyd, the sophomore, on his backside right now, and indeed that appears to be what it is, a cramp. Well, you can join the tradition of the Wrights Memorial Athletic Booster Club, supporting Memorial Athletics with the revamped and revitalized Booster Club. Like them on Facebook for more information.
It's like a leg cramp. It's a good thing this game wasn't played on Tuesday or Wednesday, right, Devin? When it was 96 degrees. This is great football weather here.
So I went for a run on Tuesday and almost didn't make it. It was so warm. Especially Wednesday was probably the hottest day of the week. That was upper 90s. Yeah. It's strange, too, because the cooler weather came in without any rain. Just dropped overnight.
All right, 2 men in the backfield looking for protection against Fisher as he rolls left. Backwards screen again.
And it was a slow developing play, and the Tigers don't get anything out of that. Caleb Elsherman did bring it in, and he lost a yard, and the Tigers will probably have to punt it away.
David Hildreth, the man that stopped it. That was the play where Caleb went all the way for the score and got called back because of a penalty. I'm sure Coach Mullen and his staff talked about that at halftime. Porter Road had a 48-yarder. His first kick got it all the way down to the Bosse 2. He'd like to duplicate that feat. As Alex Brochure, the snapper, they need him out there. And Jeremiah McGuire also comes out there.
Rode with a line drive kick, gets another friendly bounce. It rolls down to the 5. A Bosse player touches it. It's loose around the end zone. Scooped up by the Tigers. Touchdown. How do you like that? Look what I found. Jackson Draper in the end zone. A miscue by the Bosse special teams, and the Tigers get 6.
Had a great hit there. It's a 30 number. We'll have to double check this maybe on a replay. And Jackson Draper. Well, Bosse started the second half with an onside kick, successful. Memorial gets the payback on a special teams tackle and fumble and recover in the end zone.
I'm not really sure what the referees are chatting about. It was obviously touched by Bosse first and then recovered in the end zone.
The question is, can they advance it? But the fumble was in the end zone, so he fell on it.
Right.
If it had been in the field of play,
correct,
the ball would have been right there.
News just in. At the concession stand, all hot dogs are now $1.
So it's now 39-8 Memorial. Thanks to Jackson Draper scooping up that loose ball in the end zone. And it'll be Pate Barrett on for the PAT. Missed one tonight. This kick is good by Barrett. 7:28 to go in the third quarter. Each team scored once, but the Tigers are in front by 32.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Tigers in front by 32 points now, thanks to a special teams play. Jackson Draper falls on the muffed punt in the end zone. So each team has scored once here in the second half. Pretty deflating for Bosse, though. I mean, you get the onside kick to start the half, you go down and score, then you get a stop, and somehow the Tigers get points out of it still.
That's been the story of the night for Bosse.
Barrett's kick, returned from around the 15-yard line. And this is Amari Hope, galloping past the 25. And here's a look at that wild play on special teams. Another good punt here by Mr. Porter Road. Got a friendly bounce, then it was bobbled, and
he makes the tackle.
Here comes Jackson Draper. .35.
That's that.
Alex Broshears.
A long snapper, Alex Broshears, goes down there, makes the hit, causes the fumble. So he gets a tackle and a fumble cause.
Bulldogs drive starts from their own 26-yard line, and the run is stuffed by the Tigers. Loss of a yard. They went with J.D. Thomas.
28, J.D. Thomas on the carry. He was brought down by number 56.
And Kelton Farmer got in there for the tackle for loss. He came in number 2 in that category. Now 6.5 tackles for losses this year. The 6'4", 245-pound senior.
That's about the 4th or 5th tackle for loss the Tigers have had tonight. They had 12 last week against Harrison.
Wagner on 2nd 11, dancing in the pocket, and down he goes. A flag flies from our white hat.
We're going to have a horse collar actually grabbing the back of the helmet. Can't grab any of the equipment. So it's actually a tackle for loss, but then they'll pick up yardage on a penalty.
And they will get the first down with the personal foul. takes it to the 36-yard line halfway through this third quarter. Tigers in front by 32 points. Incomplete pass, trying to hook up with Amari Hope. And it was wide of his target from Elijah Wagner.
Bosse's run a lot of plays in this game, and they've had some good ones, and Elijah Wagner has picked up a lot of yardage here running the ball in the second half. But and they do have a touchdown and 2-point conversion to show for it.
2nd and 10, design quarterback run with Wagner. He splits the gap to the 45-yard line. He's lassoed out of bounds, shy of the 50-yard line, but he has the first down. And they've had some success with that play, Elijah Wagner on the quarterback run, but there is a flag from the Bosse sideline that might erase this good run by Wagner.
There might have been a block in the back.
Motion.
Illegal motion.
So that wipes out a double-digit run and takes them back 5. So the ball was going to be up near the 50, and after the penalty, they'll spot it back to the 31. So almost a 20-yard penalty, in essence. Halfway through this third quarter.
Say Bosse well into double digits in terms of penalties now, right?
10.
10, so right.
For
right
50.
at that mark. Looking to throw on 2nd down, deep down the field. It is caught by Tomlinson, the junior. Great throw by Wagner in stride. Tomlinson pulls it down into Tigers territory, shy of the 35.
32 yards on the pass and catch. Good protection. Double coverage. Pass was right on the money. Tomlinson, good catch. Draper the tackle. And we've got a timeout.
So Memorial burns their first time out of the half as the Bulldogs trying to answer the Tigers score from moments ago.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Tigers in front by 32 points, middle of the third quarter. Oakland City University is Southern Indiana's premier faith-based professional university. Enter to learn. Go forth to serve. Contact OCU at GoMightyOaks.com. So after the big play from Wagner to Tomlinson, the Tigers called a timeout. Wagner throws again. This is Thomas on the reception. The 35-yard line. He's brought down around the waist by Sam Nichols, who has an interception tonight. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down. And a few scores from the SIAC. One final. Jasper defeats Central on the road 27-0. They're in the fourth quarter. Mater Dei leads North 13-0. Vincennes on top of Harrison in the fourth quarter 35-7. And Wrights now has a 2-possession lead over Castle in the fourth quarter, 20-10.
You said Sam Nichols a lot defensively. An empty backfield. Double reverse.
Nope.
Fake.
Hildreth keeps it himself. Maybe they should have done the double reverse as the Tigers were all over that. Jack Brackett in on the tackle. Also next to him was Sam Brackett. Jack fired up after that play, clapping his hands. 3rd down.
A lot of heroes out there for Memorial. I'm sure the Rock-A-Bar player of the game will come from that side. As Jevin Redmond, we've got some thinking to do. Put our thinking caps on, and the Rock-A-Bar player of the game at the end will be mentioned. And we've got a laundry list of folks who could probably win that. Or maybe not, huh?
3rd down and long as Wagner moves to his right, keeping his play alive, and then past the line of scrimmage, and he was belted on that far sideline by Alex Broshier as a gain of a yard. It's 4th down. Well, you said it might come from the defensive side. I'd argue that, well, someone has 3 touchdowns tonight.
That's right. And again, a family affair, and of course, somebody's had to get the ball to him, and somebody's had to block for him. And so that's the nice thing about having a player of the game. When you're up 40-8, there's a lot of folks that can be winners. And it's your turn to pick the winner this week.
I think last week you took the easy way out and just said the Tigers defense.
I always try to take the easy way out.
4th and 10. Here's a long pass near sideline. 1-on-1 coverage. A diving attempt by Tomlinson. Comes up short. It is a turnover on downs, and Wagner took a vicious hit once he unloaded that pass.
3rd time the Tigers defense has turned it over on downs, and it's been the broken record story. Bosse moves the ball, but penalties hurt. Turns over on downs, turnovers, has all added up to a 32-point deficit.
Mel K is a proud Tiger sponsor for all your commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing needs. At Mel K, big projects, big solutions. (40-8). Tigers in front as they take over here late 3rd quarter. Fisher sends Pierce in motion from left to right. Give is to Rode. A lot of white jerseys. Down goes Rode. Loss of a couple of yards. I mean, he hasn't had hardly any success tonight on the ground, has Porter Rode.
Well, I give credit to that defensive front. Sometimes 3 down linemen, sometimes 5 guys up there, and those guys for Bosse, guys like Allen and Morris and Wilson and Elliott and Hildreth have done well, along with 2 linebackers, Thomas and Lloyd. That's why the Tigers have had to go to the air.
So Rode did have a long catch in the first half.
And he did have that long punt that set up a touchdown.
Well, Rode again, he's running like he's ticked off right up the middle.
He must have heard you.
He gets to the 44-yard line. That is a gain of about 10 for Porter Rode. Jaden Thomas brought him down, but Rode ran angry there.
Well, he does have 2 punts, one for 48, one for 49. That adds to his 41.2 average. And Rode and Baker and Fisher, single-digit guys in the backfield.
This is Donovan Baker, and he gets the first down, stays on his feet, and glides into Bosse territory. Good run by Donovan Baker.
Coach Hurley says, where's that been, Donovan?
That was Donovan Baker, number 5, rumbling up the middle.
Believe it or not, that's the first down for the Tigers here in the second half.
Jaden Thomas made the tackle of Baker on that last play. He was trying to strip the football out.
If the Tigers score here, we might see the reserves in the 4th quarter. You can't get them in there too early because Bosse can score quickly with speed. They've shown that against the first unit.
Pass goes the far side, off target between Fisher and Pierce. Now, is it still the 5-quarter rule in terms of JV and varsity if you play both ways?
I'm not sure, but I imagine it is. Well, Bosse has played hard. You have to give Coach Mullen and his staff and the players out there, they're not anywhere close to quitting in this ballgame.
It is 2nd and 10. Here is Rode. Right up the middle, 30 to the 20. 10. Porter Rode, quiet no longer. Touchdown Tiger. 44-yard run for Porter Rode. His 4th rushing touchdown of the year. It has been tough sledding tonight on the ground for Rode. Finally got a seam to bolt through right up the gut. And we'll get the running clock here late in the 3rd quarter. It is 46-8 Tigers.
Nothing fancy there, straight up the middle. He might have been bumped, but he wasn't touched otherwise.
Barrett coming on for the point after. And the kick by Barrett is good. So tack on one more. Tigers 47, the Bulldogs 8, and we will have a running clock the rest of the way.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Oakland City University is a private Christian college at a state school price. Check out the Good Neighbor Scholarship that allows for a major savings on tuition and is available to any first-time student living within 60 miles of campus with plans to commute. Oakland City University, an affordable college education right in your backyard. Call today or visit this link to learn more about the Good Neighbor Scholarship.
A 44-yard touchdown run by Porter Road makes it 47-8 Memorial with just over 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. On the return, this is Hope. Stiff arm just past the 20 and out of bounds. And here is the 44-yard run by Porter Road. You mentioned it, Mike. Nothing fancy, right up the middle.
He would have scored if that was flag football. Now, not all sure on all the nuances of a running clock, but I think the only time it stopped will be at the quarter or if someone calls a timeout or an injury.
Well, they stopped it after the PAT when they got organized for the kickoff. That would be the other time
right,
it
or
stops.
Yeah, well, but we didn't have the running clock until then.
Right. Taking off and running is Wagner. Another healthy gain by Wagner. Well, he's got some wheels on that far sideline. Not sure where he stepped out. We'll wait for them to mark it. Right around the 40, it looks like. Well, Wright's pulling away from Castle. They're going to stay undefeated, it looks like, as they lead Castle 34-10 in the fourth quarter.
Give him a 17-yard pickup. He stepped out there at the 40. We might get a couple of plays here in this before we get the third quarter ending.
Wagner hands off to Floyd, and Floyd bottled up by several blue jerseys at the line of scrimmage, a gain of 2 or 3.
Antonio Floyd Jr. on the carry. He was brought down by number 56, Kelton Farmer.
Kelton Farmer got credit for the tackle.
Hey, the Tigers would like to thank our chain crew. We got Joe Beckwith.
And Bosse may be able to get one more playoff here in the third. Next week, Bosse will travel to Mater Dei. So they will play at the Wrights Bowl. Bosse's home against Wrights week 8 at Harrison week 9. Pass caught right around the 50-yard line. That is Amari Hope. And he's twisted down in Tigers territory at the 47-yard line. And that play ends the third quarter. Tigers cruising in week 6, well on their way to their fourth straight win. They're in front 47-8.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
Sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Well, next week, week 7, right back here at Inlow Field. arguably the game of the week in the area. Wrights and Memorial here on IndianaSRN. Here's Wrights will be 6-0. Memorial will be 4-2. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air around 6:50.
Fumble.
Ball is loose on the first play of the fourth quarter, but the Tigers come up with it. Floyd fell on it. And again, we are in the running clock stages of this game, with the Tigers in front by 39.
First time we've had that this year. Again, with a 40-man roster, it's kind of hard, because a lot of these younger guys, it's kind of hard to get some of these reserves in there.
Another sack for the Tigers defense. Down goes Wagner.
Cassidy on the QB sack. His second of the year.
Yeah.
Probably would have liked to have one last week, too.
Ball will be placed on the 45-yard line. Third and
Cassidy, 6'4", senior, 255 pounds. Brought down Wagner on that play, so it's 3rd and 18. Bosse's been in quite a few third down and long tonight. Wagner just takes off running at the 50, 45-yard line, and sets up a somewhat manageable fourth down play. I assume they would go for it, but really been their best play tonight is that quarterback keeper and letting him get to the outside and use his speed. Draper forced him out, Tigers defense.
Our one deficiency here is we don't keep stats, but I think he's got to be over 100 yards rushing. And very tired.
4th and 7. Ball was deflected at the line. Getting a hand on it was number 21, Jack Brackett. Turnover on downs. We'll give it back to the Tigers, and we'll see if some of the reserves will be in the contest now for Memorial.
Tigers will take over on downs.
The fourth time that they've turned it over on downs, the Tiger defense against Bosse.
Tigers trying to figure out who I think they want all in on this drive. Night will be over for the majority of the starters, and in at quarterback looks like it'll be Will Petke.
Yeah, we've got all the reserves in there.
Back there, running backs still Donovan Baker. He got some touches in the third quarter, and also is Landon Horning in the backfield. Petke gives it to Donovan Baker, tries to shuffle through the line of scrimmage. Still on his feet. Baker, a good run to the midfield stripe, refusing to go down. It's a good run for Donovan Baker.
That was a great run for Donovan Baker. Coach Hurley would like to see that in the first and second, third quarter as well.
He rumbles into Bulldog territory.
8-yard gain there for Donovan Baker.
And we've had a running clock since the 2:08 part of the second or third quarter. Memorial scored 5 touchdowns in the first half and 2 in the second. Bosse got a touchdown on their first drive of the second half.
Petke to Baker. Some room to run. Gets to the outside. 30-yard line. Baker spins off one tackler. Then he's punished inside the 25-yard line. Back-to-back efficient runs for the junior Donovan Baker.
And a 25-yard effort. Make that 26-yard. They mark it at the 23.
The Bulldog 23-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers.
That ball's not heavy. Give it to him again.
Baker came in 38 carries, 156 yards, no touchdowns this year, averaging about 4 yards per rush, but back-to-back big gains for Baker. 7.5 to go. Tigers trying to add to their 39-point lead with their reserves in for the first time tonight. Petke goes to Landon Horning. Horning gobbled up for a short gain, the 5'7" sophomore, his first carry tonight. Looking at some serious history over there, Mike. When is the last time Bosse defeated Memorial?
I'm looking that up right now. That would be 2013, 37-35.
Bosse had a really good running back that year, or quarterback. Was it Carrington Crutcher? Is that right?
You know, I'm real gray on my history on that one.
Second and 8. Petke handles the high snap, feeds it to Donovan Baker. He gets 3. They're inside the red zone.
Well, one thing about when you match up Memorial and Bosse, Bosse won 4 sectionals, Memorial's won 15, but the last sectional was in 2010, and that's when the head football coach was Andrew Weinzappel, Ralph Weinzappel's son, and of course Drew Weinzappel, one of the captains, not dressed here tonight for Memorial, and that sectional championship team went 2-7 in the regular season and beat Memorial in the sectional championship game, and then came away with a 45-35 loss to Indian Creek. So I guess the point is, I'm trying to say, Coach Mullen can take solace in the fact that they are, only just one win, but a 2-7 still can win a sectional.
Well, Donovan Baker squeezes through another big gain as he has had a very good drive here on the ground. It's 1st and goal at the 5, and of course these two teams in the same sectional, which is a 7-team sectional, so you get the right draw, a bye, and all of a sudden one win, you're in the championship.
Exactly. For 67, 33, and 5, the advantage for the Memorial Tigers all time. It's the 106th meeting between these two teams. They met and started in 1925. Of course, Bosse was one of the original 10 Southern Indiana Athletic Conference teams that started in 1935.
Baker has done most of the work on this drive, and he finishes it off with a 5-yard touchdown run. The first time this year, Donovan Baker has found the end zone. 53-8 Tigers.
And give credit to that second unit line. They have done the job and allowed Donovan Baker to get the 6 points.
Looks like we'll have a new kicker for this PAT as well.
It's going to be Joseph Hinkie.
And he boots it right through the uprights. 54-8 Tigers, having all the fun tonight at Inlow Field. Donovan Baker gets his first rushing touchdown of the season. 5-yard score, 54-8 Memorial. It was a 57-yard drive that took up 5 minutes and 7 seconds. It's their longest drive of the night time-wise, but of course the running clock helps with that. Hickey will kick off. He just made the PAT after the score. Kick comes to the near side. And, well, somebody better pick it up if you're Bosse. Aaron Fanat just kind of waited there for it. He waited too long, and the Tigers come up with it. The second miscue of the half by the Bosse special team.
Jake Lively, the sophomore on the special teams, comes up with the recovery.
And here is Donovan Baker scoring from 5 yards out. He had a couple of healthy runs on that drive. Tigers will get excellent field position already inside the red zone. And we remind you that at the Book Broker, you can buy new and used comics, sports cards, and sports memorabilia. Get your favorite gaming and video games, and also Blu-ray and DVDs. Of course, you can get books at the Book Broker as well, located at 2717 Covert Avenue in Evansville.
So Memorial right back on offense.
Donovan Baker out after he scored that touchdown. First carry of the game for Dylan Kendrick, the 5'9 freshman. And ball is loose inside the 5-yard line after a good gain. And Bosse comes up with it. So Kendrick got the carry but fumbled after a solid gain. And Bosse's offense will still get it right back.
Tiger fans, be ready next week. The alumni, friends, and
Here is a look at a telemetry sports play. The Porter Road 44-yard touchdown run just got above 18 miles per hour. And for more than 6 years, Telemetry Sports has been working with the NFL and multiple college football teams as a data and technology provider.
So the recovery on the kickoff gets negated by the fumble on offense. Wagner still out there against the second unit defense.
Wagner with a quarterback run. Gets to the outside of the 10. And he'll just walk out of bounds. Scott Stratman, attorney at law, an experienced and affordable Evansville attorney for over 28 years. Call Scott Stratman 812-425-5345 for help with litigation and estate and nursing home planning. Need legal advice? Call attorney Scott Stratman 812-425-5345. Inside of 2 minutes to go. Wrights will be here next week to play Memorial. And then the Tigers will go to Vincennes week 8 and wrap up the regular season at home against Castle week 9. Long bomb down the field, caught by Tomlinson to the 40, foot raise 30. Tomlinson will take it in for the score.
90 yards.
Oh no, is there a flag on the field?
Oh my. That sums up the Bosse evening.
Clock still running with 1 minute and 15 seconds. And
if it's against Memorial, obviously it'll be refused.
Still waiting for the signal from our white hat. Oh, it's just a sideline warning against Bosse, so that will stand. 90-yard touchdown from Wagner to Tomlinson. Gets Bosse on the board for the second time tonight, now 54-14. And this game more than likely will end with a 2-point conversion. One more sponsor mention. Royal Express Car Wash. Heath, Pete, and Tina Rupp are owners of Royal Express Car Wash and proud sponsors of Memorial football. For a clean car, visit their locations on the west side of Evansville on Pearl Drive or 1201 North Fulton Avenue.
And we might not even get the extra point.
Coach Hurley having a word with the referees, and yep, time will run out. So the game ends not quite on a walk-off touchdown as the team that got it loses by 40, but a positive note for the Bulldogs. Wagner to Tomlinson, 90-yard touchdown, and the final score in Low Field. Memorial 54. Bosse 14 as the Tigers improve to 4-2, and Bosse drops to 1-5. The Bulldogs have now lost 4 straight games, and the Tigers have won 4 straight games. Mike Scavara, I think it is time to name our player of the game. Do you want me to do that, or do you have it?
I think it's your turn.
Well, I think anytime you get 3 touchdowns in a game, you should be the player of the game, and that is Mr. Caleb Elsperman, the 5'10 senior. Had a 2-yard rushing touchdown that got the scoring started middle of the first quarter. Then he had a 7-yard touchdown catch early second quarter and a 4-yard touchdown catch late second quarter. So Caleb Ulsterman is our player of the game. Brought to you by Rock-A-Bar. They're located at 1618 South Kentucky Avenue in Evansville. Stop by after the game or for lunch or dinner at the Rock-A-Bar for your favorite pizza and other fine food.
A lot of thank yous to give out. Of course, our fine production crew, Jerry Collins, our cameraman, Supreme Joe Mears. Of course, the fine folks from Bosse, Principal Aaron Huff, Athletic Director Tom Bellmere, Head Coach Stephen Mullen, Administrative Assistant Rhonda Holder. Of course, for Memorial, President Christian Mosick, Principal Aaron Schmidt, Athletic Director Matt Weber, Assistant Samantha Myers, Head Football Coach John Hurley, Administrative Assistant Patty Van, and as always, Marketing Director Tucker Smith, who helps us in so many ways up here and gives us those final scores.
Well, next week, be a lot of fun right back here. 7 o'clock kickoff for Week 7. The undefeated Wrights Panthers against the 4-2 Memorial Tigers.
Looking forward to it. That starts the first of 3 weeks, the final 3 weeks, where Memorial will face ranked teams, Wrights in 4A, Vincennes Lincoln in 3A, and Castle in 5A.
We'll leave you with some scores from the SIAC. Wrights defeated Castle 41-10 tonight. That game was tied at 10 at one point. Vincennes cruises past Harrison 42-7. Mater Dei beats North 16-0. And Jasper tops Central 27-0. Again, join us next Friday night. It'll be the Wrights Panthers and the Memorial Tigers on the air at 6:50. The kickoff at 7 o'clock here on IndianaSRN. The final score for Week 6 from Enlow Field, Memorial 54, Bosse 14. Good night and have a great weekend.